Hey everyone, we're going to work on exercise 14-1 of Murach's Visual Basic 2015, which is build a DataGridView application. If you haven't done so yet, and you're in my class, here's the database, mmabooks.mdf. You can click on that and download it, and you'll probably want to save this. We'll be using this database quite often, so you can take it and save it to, I don't know, wherever you want. I'll put it right here in my CIS 400 folder. Wherever you want to put it, you can do so. All right, and then open up Visual Studio. We need to create a new project. You should have Windows Form App.NET Framework Visual Basic as a recent template. So you can choose that. If you don't have this here, you need to search for it and then find it in the drop down. Just make sure you are building a Windows Form App.NET Framework Visual Basic. And then we're going to give it a name. So your last name, exercise 14-1. Make sure solution and project are in the same directory. Click on create. And there we go. All right. Now, if you do not see in the corner here data sources, we need to turn that window on. So if you go to view, other windows, data sources. Now we have data sources here. And we do not have a data source on this project yet, so we're going to add one. And we're adding a database. It's a data set. I'm going to do new connection. I know I have stuff here, but let's pretend I don't have things there. I'm going to click browse to find the database. And where did I save the database? I put it in this CIS 400 folder. There it is. It's wherever you downloaded that database to. Click on open. Say OK. Click on next. So it says this is using a local data file that is not in your current project. Would you like to copy the file to your project and modify the connection? Yes, you do. You want that database copied into your project. The connection string, that looks fine. And in this case, this is where we start choosing which tables we want to include. We're actually only using the products table, so let's just choose that one. It doesn't really matter. We can choose all tables. Eventually we'll need all tables. Right now we just need the products table. So you should see the MMA books data set here, and you should see products. Now, almost forgot. In the Solution Explorer, we need to find MMA Books Products.mdf. So we're going to click on this and look at the properties. Copy to output directory. We want to say copy if newer. And there's an explanation of what this is doing. I put that explanation in Blackboard about copy if newer, or you can also, looks like maybe page 464 of your book will explain that, or I'm sure I explained it in class as well. So just make sure that when you import a data set, you change that copy to output directory to copy if newer. If not, it'll cause you problems down the road. Okay, now we need to drag the data source onto the form, and what they're referring to is we're taking this products table and we're just dragging it onto the form. And it automatically creates this navigation bar for us. We have the table data here, and I'm just going to resize this, make it look like that. That's great. And then hit F5 to run it. And so this is what we get, from taking the DataGridView and dragging it onto our form. So it wants us to sort things, so I can click on unit price, I sort it. If I click it again, it sorts it descending order, same with quantity, any of these things. That works great. Second, change data in a column. So I'll take this and make it, instead of $57, I'm going to make it $67. And then add a new row with valid data. So I'm going to say product EN15 is Professor Nagel's test product. The price, $19.95, it's on sale, and I have 30 of them. And, oh, it's up here. Okay, now, right now everything's just been saved to the data set. It hasn't been written back to the database yet until we hit the Save Data button. Now it's been written back to the database itself. So if I close my application now and I reopen it, I will see here my test product. If you don't see your test product, one of two things happened. Either you didn't hit save when you closed the application, or on your database, if you look at the properties of it, copy to output directory is not set to copy if newer. It's set to copy always or something like that. So make sure that you can add a product, save, close when you open your application again. Your new products are there. That is one of the things I will be testing for when I'm grading your assignment. All right, and then it says test the application with invalid data by deleting the description of something. So I'm going to take the book that we're actually using. This is not easy to select all this. Okay, I'm going to delete everything. Look around. Okay, I have this empty here. It actually throws an exception. DataGridView default error dialog, and here's what it's catching, or the exception that's being thrown. And step 5 says that for the data error event of the DataGridView, we should catch that and do something with it. So, all right, so it wants us to click on the control, look at events, and we're looking for the data error event. Here it is. Double click on that, and it gives us the event handler. And then the code for this event handler is on page 489, but I'm going to write it here so you can just follow along if you'd like. The first thing you need to do is get the row number. So E is the error that was thrown, and what we want is the row index. Now remember, we start counting at 0, so to tell a user that there's an error on row 0, that doesn't make much sense. Or if you tell them that an error is on row 3, they're going to look at row 3. So we're not looking at the row index. We want to report back the row index plus 1. And then we are going to have this error message, and we're going to pop up this error message to the user. The error message is a data error occurred. So we're telling them that there was an error, and then we're going to tell them what row is it on. It's on row. I'm going to put that to string. And the error itself is e.exception.message. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you can see it better. Sorry about that. And then I just want to show this. So message box dot show So we're going to show the error message and then give that box title called data error. Run this again. So now if I try to take away the description, a data error occurred. Row 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. and then column description does not allow nulls. So that's a better error message than just handling the stack dump pretty much. That's it. Save this, zip it up, and submit it.